Hi, my name is Jerry D. Owens, and I coach the Conqueror. Let's get it started. This is 15 minutes to shift your entire life. I want to talk to you about perfecting your product. Perfecting your product. I coach business owners and motivated people and entrepreneurs. And one of the most important questions I ask them is when I am coaching them is what is your product? And many of the times they go in, I sell insurance. Um, I have a hospice care. They have all kind of product that they begin to describe what their product is, and I always answer, your product is you. Did you hear what I said? You are your product, and you have to really understand that people don't buy your product, they invest into you. And so to understand that, I want to show you how to perfect your product. I want to show you how to perfect your product. Number one, you got to understand you are the product. So your business will only be as effective as you are. Your income will only be as great as you are. Your numbers during the month, your sale numbers will only be as great as you are. And so it's vitally important that you take up the perspective of understanding I am my product. I am my product. So if I'm the product, then I have to perfect me. See, most folks who start businesses or start ministries or start whatever they're starting, first thing they try to do is they perfect the environment. They get the bank account, they get the name, they get the marketing. They do all of this type of things, but they don't perfect themselves. And you can have the best venue and you can have the best um, things that you're selling and you can have the best um, you can do a whole lot of things well, but if you don't perfect you, you will not be able to be profitable. So I have to realize I have to perfect me. I'm the product. So number two, I have to obsess over learning. If you're going to perfect the product, then you have to upgrade the product, continuously upgrade the product. One of the best books I've read was 10 times is easier than two times, or 10x is easier than 2x by Dr. Ben Hardy and Dan Sullivan, strategic coach. And they help you to understand that at every level, you have to scale off the previous level to be able to go to the next level. And if you really understand that you grow based upon what you put inside you. So who you're around is going to affect the product. Who you listen to the most is going to affect the product. Who you deal with on a regular basis is going to affect the product. Your lack of reading. Interesting story. Um, Frederick Douglass, we all know he's the great emancipator and a monumental figure in the rights for blacks from slavery. And one of the things that happened is there was a slave master who found his wife teaching young black slaves to read, and he went off. He said, if you teach them how to read, they will no longer be able to be our slaves. Notice, if you teach them to read, they will no longer be able to be our slaves. And so, because he learned how to read, he ended up changing this world by learning to read. And I found out many people don't read. They don't invest into themselves. They don't pour into themselves. And oftentimes, when they think of investment, they're thinking of a spa, a vacation, nails, jacuzzis, relaxing. No, no, no. There's time for that. But obsessing over learning is what's going to upgrade your product. You have to upgrade. Your mind will make more money than your hands. If you think about the work culture, Most people who work the hardest make the less money physically. When they work the hardest physically, they make the less money. Check it out. People who work, maybe it's your grandfather, maybe it's your father, maybe it's your uncle. They work on cars, or they work in janitorial. They work in picking, collecting trash. They work in construction. They work in construction. They don't own a construction company. They work in construction. That's a limited access, which means you're not going to be able to do the physical work for a long period of time. But what you can use for a long period of time is your mind. And your mind is more profitable than your hands. And you think about our greatest, most wealthy people in this world, most influential people in this world don't do physical labor. Isn't that interesting that the most influential people in the world don't do physical labor? What are you saying? I'm saying that the more you know, the more you grow, and the more you'll be able to change your income, change your status. You have to obsess on learning. I'm obsessed with learning. I try to read a book a month, and I give myself 2 weeks to finish the book. And I try to get it on the inside of me so that I can talk about it without going back to looking through the pages, finding out what it says. So I read and I read and I listen and I listen. There are no excuses. Even if you're not a great reader, you can get audiobooks. Even if you don't read well, you can take a class. There is no excuse for you not learning, because what you don't know is what's causing you to suffer. Number three, if it ain't broke, break it. Oftentimes, you think that a product is good in one season, that is not good in another season, and the reason it is because you didn't constantly perfect the product. Never ever think you got it. Never ever think you have arrived. Never ever think you are to the place where you need to be. The reality is that if I accomplish a task, I'm looking for the next part of me that needs perfecting. If I perfect my tongue, I'm going to perfect my eyes. If I perfect my eyes, I'm going to perfect my ears. If I perfect my ears, and I'm going to perfect my communication, conversation. I'm always breaking it so that I can fix it and go to another level. Never think you're there. A great book that was written that states, if it's not broke, break it. Always find something that you need to work on. Never sit back and chill and think that I'm good now. You're never good now. You must always find something to work on. Number four, the power of no. If you're going to perfect your product, then you have to be comfortable with no. It's for many people who, if you are afraid of rejection, don't go into business. If you're afraid of rejection, don't go into ministry. If you're afraid of rejection, don't try anything, because you will not be successful until you are comfortable with no. I think I heard a speaker say that was very amazing. He says the quickest way to get to yes is no. The quickest way to get to yes is no. Because most folk in business, in selling, in ministry, in life, they believe that they are so good that they can turn a no into a yes. No, you don't sit there. About time, the time it takes for you to convince someone that they need what you're offering. They need to have their children in your daycare. They need to have their car serviced at your dealership. They need to, about time you finish convincing them, I would have gone through 7 no's and I arrive at my yes. You never try to convince people that what you have is so good, because here is the reality. My product, me, been placed here to serve. So I have to allow people, or I have to show people the reason why they can't refuse what I have to offer. I don't try to convince them that they need what I have. I show them that I have what they need. Catch that. Don't miss that. So the power of no is getting comfortable with no. Don't be afraid of no. Don't be afraid of doors slammed. Don't be afraid of people not ready to receive your message. Don't be afraid of people not wanting to hear you up front. You be consistent. And one of the ways to do that is to understand that you have to find your life's work and not a job. You get a job until you perfect the work that you've been placed on this earth to do. For many people, they quit simply because they weren't doing what they were created to do. And soon as opposition appeared, they quit and said, I'm not doing this anymore. When you know this is what you were created to do, no is not even in the equation of quitting is not even an equation. When you know this is what you were created to do, you never even quit. Might think about it, may get frustrated, but the next day you'll be waking up going after what you believe you've been placed on this earth to do. Everyone has been placed on this earth with a problem in mind. God had a problem in mind when he created you. Your life's discovery is to find out what that problem is. And oftentimes the problem is a problem that you've had to overcome yourself. God will always lead you into the areas that you have had to overcome yourself. That's the reason you overcame it, because God allowed it, because he needed to use your story in order to change someone's lives. I had a client I was coaching, and they had a passion for single mothers or single parents. And when we discovered that I have a unique ability of helping people extract the treasure that is within the trash. All of you have treasures that is hiding under the trash, and God has given me the ability to look through the trash and find your treasure. When we discovered the passion she had for single parents, we noticed, I told her, now quitting wouldn't be an option ever again. People can lie on you, they can not like you, they can turn you down, they can turn you the other way, but you will make up in your mind, I can't quit, because there is a single mother, there is a single father who needs me. And when you realize that you've been called to serve mankind, you don't quit, because this is what I was created for. My last one is good product. Number 5 is good product. You have to catch this now. You are good product. No, I didn't ask you to judge it based upon what you've gone through and where you are right now. You may not be where you want to be, but you are good product. God created you, and he created you good. You have to connect with someone that helps you walk into that good. You have to partner with people who can coach you. You know what I understand? This is why I love coaching. The greatest shooter on the planet, the greatest basketball shooter on the planet is Steph Curry. It's been proven. He's broke the record. He is the best shooter on the planet, and he has a shooting coach. Catch this. He probably shoots better. Matter of fact, he shoots better than his shooting coach, but he has a shooting coach, because shooting develops a feeling or a form that you do every time. And you get so accustomed to the feeling that you do it without thinking. And as a coach to tell you to straighten up that elbow, although you're a good shooter, if you get some laxed, unorthodox form, it's going to eventually affect your accuracy. And the coach is outside of your situation, seeing what you're doing. You need a coach. You need somebody to help you get into the place that you've been created to do. So we have to perfect the product. Number 1, you are the product. Number 2, obsess over learning. Number 3, if it ain't broke, break it. Number 4, you've got to understand the power of no. No is beautiful, because no gets you to yes. And lastly, you are good product. Hey, I hope this helps someone. This was 15 minutes to shift your entire life. I am Dr. Jerry D. Owens, and I coach the conqueror. Visit my website, jerrydowens.com. Also, click the subscribe and notifications so you can be alerted every time I'm on the air. And don't forget, I've come to make you more. God bless. What's up, my people? Listen, for more teaching like what you're experiencing right now, go to my website, jerrydowens.com. You'll find some amazing stuff on there. And coaching. I coach the conqueror. I coach people, high business earners, business people, entrepreneurs, people who are motivated from life. Go to my website right now. It's some good stuff there for you. I coach the conqueror.